Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Secretary of Homeland Security John Kelly met with members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. We asked them about veterans who are being deported. We asked them about why American citizens were increasingly having their families broken up by deportation. We asked them about 800,000 young people who signed up for Daca and hundreds of thousands of long-term residents of the U.S. who have temporary protective status, and he really had no answers. We know that he's on board with Trump's agenda to deport millions and millions of people, or he would not have been appointed to the position. But honestly, he seemed not to understand what his own agency does, the statutory powers he has as Secretary of Homeland Security under current law, or for that matter, even how Congress works. So naive. Let me give you some examples. Number one, Francisca Lina lives in Chicago, and her husband and children are U.S. citizens. 6 of them she has. And nearly a decade ago, she stayed out of trouble and reported every year to immigration authorities. Now people who work for the secretary decided she must leave the country, leave her American citizen children, her American citizen husband this August and leave. Why? What changed, Mr. Secretary? Absolutely nothing except you. The same goes for Jesus Lara in Ohio. He has 4 American citizen children who live their entire lives here, but their families being broken up by their own government. According to the secretary, the courts are deporting them, not him or his agency. He denied any responsibility and said he can't do anything about it. But we all know the Secretary of Homeland Security has extraordinary powers to spare families from deportation, especially when doing so would be in our national interest. I told him he could just pick up the phone and stop the deportation of Mrs. Lino and Mr. Lara and spare the American people the cruelty and the hardship. But he's hiding behind the old, "it's out of my hands," bureaucratic dodge, the old, "I'm just following orders," the general following orders. But General, that's invalid, because we know you have the power to do the right thing. On TPS, a program that currently allows hundreds of thousands of people to live and work here legally, the Secretary has almost unilateral power to extend it. But the Secretary was like, "I don't know what I'm going to do. They've been here a long time. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to decide." What kind of answer is that, Mr. Secretary? To me, this means that hundreds of thousands of people's lives, the lives that have been built in the United States, are about to be turned upside down. He wants to take hundreds of thousands of legal documented immigrants and make them undocumented, and then go after them and their families. How does that make America great? Then there is Daca, the program where 800,000 children and young adults came forward, registered with the government, went through a background check, and were rechecked periodically. Now Secretary Kelly says he thinks DACA is illegal. And once again, it's out of his hands. And up to, who? You know who he said it's up to? Attorney General Jeff Sessions, only America's #1 opponent of immigration of any kind. So to me, this is our call to action. The way we rose up to support women and Planned Parenthood, we have to do that again and again. The way lawyers and patriotic Americans stood at airports to protect refugees and religious freedom, well, now it's time to protect TPS and Dreamers and other families in the crosshairs. We are going to have to organize, mobilize, and stand with our allies to protect families, to protect American citizens in those families, and to defend communities, because these guys are serious. They want to deport millions of people, and they're coming after the Dreamers and those with deep, long-term lives in the U.S. This is our call to action. We must resist. We must rise up and stand up for American values. And whether the president, the secretary, or the attorney general like it or not, we need to make it clear that immigrants and immigration are here to stay. Listen, last May, the Secretary of Homeland Security set an edict. He's told the Haitians, over 55,000 of them, you got 6 months. Get your paperwork ready, you're leaving the country. Then he's going to come after hundreds of thousands of Central Americans that are here legally in this country, have been here for 10, 15, 20 years. He's telling them also, get your affairs in order. You're going to be deported from the United States. I'm eliminating your legal status. And when it comes to Dreamers, I want to make it absolutely clear to everyone today, he is going to end the program, and he's going to begin that process this September. He says, oh, I like them. They're nice people, but there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to talk to my buddy, General Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions has never liked the program when he was a U.S. Senator, and now he's the Attorney General. They will eliminate the program, putting 800,000 people in the crosshairs of deportation. We have the moment to rise up. Es el momento de resistir. Vienen a destruir nuestra comunidad, vienen a deportar a los soñadores. Párense, organícense y resistan.